Welcome back to the shop. Second video in the new shop. I know that the time between the two was a little bit longer than I would have liked. Sorry, I got really chapped lips. This weather change is kicking my butt. But I am super excited to have you guys in the shop again, especially the new shop. It's coming along. Things are coming together. As you can see up here, I actually put up a TV so that I can be able to watch new woodworking techniques and new things that I would like to learn while in the shop. Or if I'm just doing something I've never done, I can watch the YouTube experts and see if I can get it figured out. But this video is going to be a little bit long-awaited and a little somber, because it's the last Life Story Monday video. And it's definitely been a long, stinking road, hasn't it? I mean, I think I have 123 or 24 videos now, and it's basically all been about life story or crafting. And I don't know what the new chapter is going to be. I don't know what I'm going to make videos on next. I'm sure it's going to be hopefully inspirational to you guys as I get inspiration to make them. But I'm going to try to stick with it and try to give you guys some good content, things that I'm still learning, and things that maybe I'll go in a little bit more in depth on. I've got my wife working on some questions to maybe delve deeper into some topics, and maybe that'll interest you guys. But if you're new here, I am the Convicted Christian. I am 8 years clean and sober. I did almost 10 years in prison. Now I am free and off parole, all thanks to the love of God for me. At least that's what I believe. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for your support. I actually got a comment from a gentleman. I can't pronounce his name, but he commented on my last video, and he offered a free audit of my channel. Let's see what that entails, and maybe we can get my message out there a little bit more, get my story a little bit more out there, and maybe actually really start impacting more and more lives. If you're not religious, if you don't have a Christian faith or a Judeo-Christian faith, that's fine. My channel isn't about, well, if you're not a Christian, you can't have a good life and you can't overcome the issues that you're currently facing. That's not the point of my channel. The point of my channel is to show you that you can be the lowest of the low. You can be at the bottom of the barrel, rock bottom, dug your pit as deep as you wanted to, and you can come back and have a reasonably happy life. Yes, are there things that would make me quote-unquote happier? Yeah. But I think those things would also more give me a sense of security. And life isn't secure. Nothing about life is secure. So it's pretty false to want for that. So if you don't believe or you don't want to believe, stick with me. Most of my channel is not geared towards that. Now, we are going to speak about a Bible verse that I really enjoy, and I'm going to explain how it's helped me and how it's affected me, but I'm also going to explain how it can be looked at in a secular way and still give insight, give inspiration that way. But let me go get my notebook because I forgot it, and we will come right back. And we are back. I got my notebook, and I've got my verse. So this verse is 1 Corinthians 16:13. Be on guard, stand firm in the faith, be courageous, be strong. So, for me, As a follower of Christ, what that means is the faith is what gives us our courage and our strength. It's what helps us stay on guard. And when I don't stand in the faith, when I don't, firm my ground in faith, it's real easy to get knocked over by the storms of life, by my addiction, by the things that happen around me from work, my family, whatever the case may be. And I find myself losing courage and losing strength to do the right things as a husband, a father, hopefully a friend to others. And that can only be reattained, re-evaluated and set right by stepping back into my faith. Now, let's say I didn't believe. This would still mean something to me. Because even if you don't believe in Christ, or even if you're an atheist, you still have faith in something. You have faith that the seasons are going to change. You have faith that the sun's going to rise. You have faith that the atoms that make who you are going to keep being who you are. There's still faith. Faith doesn't necessarily have to mean God or Allah or any other pantheon of names that I could give. It just means that your belief is in something. And when you stand firm in that, it's very easy to be courageous. It's very easy to be strong. Do the things that you think are right. And if you're struggling right now and you're not feeling courageous and you're losing your battle with addiction or alcoholism, or if you're losing your battle against wanting to do something you shouldn't do, or potentially do something that's going to send you to prison or back to prison, find what you believe in. Doesn't matter what it is. Be courageous in it. Keep your strength up so that you can continue to do that belief, whatever it is. So you can continue to live in the faith that you have around you that is important to you. And always be on guard. Because there's plenty of things that want to steal that faith. Now, being on guard doesn't mean not listening to others or anything like that. It means if someone's trying to, shove a bunch of hogwash down your neck, don't stand for it. And if you think it's hogwash, then it's going to be hogwash until you think otherwise. So, very important Bible verse for me. Because I lived a life that was riddled with fear. And it got me into fights. It got me into prison. It put me into the situations where I fell into the trap of addiction. And it stole my strength. The fear stole my strength. Along with not allowing me to be courageous. Because I let it reign over everything in my life, in my mind, in my heart. So this is very, very important to me. So, it's been so long since I did Life Story, and I thought I remembered where I left off, but I don't know exactly. But I know it's pretty close to where I am now. I think that the last thing I talked about was when my daughter's mother, my oldest daughter's mother, sent me to jail for a little bit, and me getting out and everything like that. So this is kind of the last 6 years, going to be wrapped up in a couple minutes, because there's not a lot that happened that would be eventful to anyone else. I got out of jail in 2016, 17, 2017. Hang on. Let me get my math right for a second. Maybe I'll put a silly overlay. 2018. You know what? Doesn't matter. 2017, 2018, somewhere in that region. I got out, and me and my girlfriend, soon to be wife at the time, tried to pick up the pieces. Try to, get back to a semblance of life that we had hoped we had attained it up to that point. And it was kind of difficult. There's no other way to explain it because, so that we could have contact, we burned up a bunch of our money. She, felt bad for me because I was in jail for a stupid reason. And so she would send me things. And then for our letters, she would have to send me stamps and paper and envelopes. And so that cost money. And the last bit of the pregnancy, she couldn't work as much. So she ended up having to burn a bunch of that. So I got out and we had very little money. And I had to, hit the ground running, work my butt off, try to get us back level. And I did. And in that time, I also got to hold my daughter for the first time. I got to see my daughter in person without that piece of plexiglass separating us. And I wish I could have given the same experience to my oldest daughter. But I didn't. Because I was a deadbeat. Because I was a terrible father to her in her younger years by not being there. But I wasn't going to make that mistake again. And so this little thing that could almost not, she was too small for both of my hands. I just poured everything I had of love that wasn't going to her mother into her. And as much as my wife completed me, and still completes me, watching my children grow completes me in a completely different way. I said complete a lot right there. Ignore that. And so it was phenomenal. And we ended up moving again because the place that we were staying at ended up kicking my wife out. And so we were staying at a new place that fit us very, very well. And my wife was still working at the hospital, and I ended up getting a different job just because with the whole situation, it was just going to be easier to find a new job, start fresh, and go from there. And then a couple years down the road, I find out she's pregnant again. And our second child is not a COVID baby. She was not conceived because we were bored and at home. She was planned. And we wanted to have her, and we still want her, and she was just another gift from God. And I actually got to be there. when she was born, unlike my two oldest. And if we ever have children and I can't be there, it's no. I'm gonna move mountains. I'm gonna move heavens. I'm gonna move earth. I will be there, even if it has to make me completely despondent. I will be there. And we ended up moving again. My wife ended up getting a really, really good offer at another job at another hospital, and we ended up moving even further away from family and friends, way more away from mine. But it also wasn't really closer to her family either. And there were some things we struggled here. Nothing that no one else has struggled with. Pretty simple stuff. Our apartment wasn't ready. We ended up basically living out of a U-Haul for 7 days, and got another great place. Smaller, almost too small, you could say, but we made it work. And God provided us with something that we needed in the time that we needed it, in a way that we didn't see possible. Found a decent place for our kids to do daycare. And me and my wife, we actually really started working on our relationship. We still have our bumpy moments, and we're trying to continue to work deeper and use technology and just stay in touch, stay in love, stay, happy with each other, which doesn't always happen. But if you've got a good friendship, a good foundation, and everything, I believe that you don't have to be part of the divorce statistic or the breaking up or anything like that. But anyways, ended up getting a job here at a warehouse that I didn't have to go through a temp service for the first time. I didn't have to prove myself with anything other than just an interview and the ability to drive a forklift. I've never had that happen before. I've never had a company. Luckily, it was locally owned. It was the original. The founder was the owner still, and so it was a little easier to have that one-on-one contact. But it's also harder because they have more to lose, and so they want to be a little bit more sure about their picks. And he gave me a chance. He gave me a shot to prove that my past didn't define me. And I'm still thankful to him. I'm still in contact with him, even though he sold the company off. And because I'm still in contact with him, it's the first time that I had a previous employer that wasn't either upset at me for leaving or whatever, or was willing to not rehire me, or is willing to rehire me if he's still in the company. Because every time that I left a job, I typically burned bridges. Even up until 5-6 years ago, because I struggle with, if I have a new job, I want to start the new job. I don't want to work 2 weeks at the old job, so I burn bridges so that I can work at the new job. I still struggle with that, and I got to hold myself accountable, be responsible, keep doing the 2 weeks, and I got to persevere through it if it is a struggle, so that I can have those good job references and those good job contacts. But started working with this company. I still enjoy working with this company, even though it's a whole different company. it's one of the things that I truly enjoy doing, which is operating machinery. There's two things that I wish I could get paid for: operating machinery and talking. And I get to do one of them. So I'm pretty happy with the job. And I've been with the job for, a couple years. And then last year, me and my wife found out we would have another child. And I didn't think it was possible to be just as excited about your fourth child as you were about your first one. Because even though I was a terrible father and I abandoned her for many years, when I found out that she was pregnant, when her mother was pregnant, it awoke something in me for that split second. And I was truly happy. And when I heard about the third child with my wife, it was like my world was being lit up all over again. And it was still being lit for my other children. So it's just the oddest phenomenon. Can't explain it. I don't understand it, and I don't know if I want to. And so we did all the things that a pregnant couple usually does. Our third daughter was born, and right after she was born, we moved. This time we didn't move away anywhere. We just moved to a new place in the same town. Hence, the new garage, the much bigger, spacious garage, which I am absolutely loving. And now we're here. And there's quite a bit of things that I learned in this time frame. There's quite a bit of growing that I did in this time frame. And I give the credit to my wife and my daughters. And if God hadn't brought them into my life, I don't know if any of the growth would have happened on its own. And I would love to talk about what I learned, but you're going to have to watch the next video to learn that. Thank you guys so much for being here, for listening to me talk again. If any of this helped you or you think it could help somebody else, please share my video. Please put a like on it so that I can reach other people. And if you have any questions, if you want me to to elaborate on anything, any of my videos, it doesn't matter, not just this one, but any of my videos that you've seen, put it in a comment, ask away, and we'll go from there. I really hope that you guys have a good rest of your week, or weekend, because it's Friday, and I really hope that you guys have a good next week. Remember, if we're going to change the world, we have to have a little courage, a little bit of strength, so we can change ourselves. Thank you guys, and good night.